Hi everyone, welcome to another academic video. This week it's all about the annual academic CV update. If you're new to the channel, welcome to our academic group here on YouTube. If you are a returning subscriber, if you've left me a comment, it's lovely to have you back. This week I thought we could chat all about the academic CV. Now I've been prompted to do this because over the summer I've been involved in writing a couple of research grant applications, and in a couple of cases, I'm writing them with other people, or other people have kindly invited me to join their research grant applications, and they need my academic CV as part of the application process. And I try every year to remember to do a quick update of my CV, and the needing to do it for these applications has prompted me that now would be a really good time to update my CV. So I thought I'd share what I do, what I check for each year, and how you can go about strengthening your academic CV with your latest yearly outputs and successes and wins. If you've never written a CV for a university job before, they are quite different, I guess, to an industry-based job. So, I've been in industry for a bit and then I came across to academia, and the CVs are different. In academia, the CVs are typically longer than what you'd expect for an industry CV. So if you're brand new to academic CV writing, I've made a couple of past videos. I will include, I'll try to include cast of them now, but I will definitely include their links in the description box below. So it might be worthwhile checking out those videos first so you can get yourself set up with your kind of CV outline and what goes where in your CV. But this video really, I guess, is when you then have an academic CV and you're touching base with it every year to try to then update and reflect what's happened in the last 12 months. Now, obviously, I'm saying I do this every year. You may update your CV more frequently. Maybe you update it every month. Maybe you do it every quarter. Maybe you don't really do it at all until you actually need to update your CV for a reason. But these are things that I then look out for when I do my yearly update. So one of the easiest things I think to check off is teaching experience. If you are in a role at a university that has teaching requirements, so if you are a lecturer or a professor or a teaching fellow, then you will have undertaken teaching most likely during that last year. So I tend to look across my teaching and just reflect and say, okay, did I teach anything new? Was I leading any new teaching? Was I involved in any new module design? Did I gain any new teaching qualifications? And then I go to my teaching section on my CV, and they're the things that I'm typically updating. Sometimes, if you've had a particularly good set of module evaluation questionnaires, now these are the questionnaires that happen at the end of your module where students supply you with feedback. If you've had particularly good scores, you may want to highlight that a particular module was well received by the students. You need to check your university's kind of confidentiality and data policies, because there may be requirements on what you can and can't share regarding those kind of survey outputs. But that's a good place, I guess, to kind of check in. But usually, I'm just really looking at what I did that was different in previous years, and then what I was continuing to do that was the same. So this year, for example, for me, I've taken on the module leadership and design of a new module, and that's going live in January 2023. So that is now on my CV that I'm the module lead and I was designing this particular new module. And because of that, I've dropped a module. So that means that I'm no longer teaching on a particular course. So I've now time-bounded that on my CV to say that I taught it for X number of years. And I was involved with a lot of ongoing regular teaching. So I've just made sure that my CV is updated to reflect that those courses are extended by a year on my CV. And then I think updating your research experience on your CV can take a little bit more, not work, but can take a little bit of time for you to kind of think about all the things that have happened in that year and to be able to capture them all within your CV document. The obvious ones are journal papers. So if you've published a journal paper, if one of your students has published and you've been listed as a co-author, it's a quick thing to update your publication list on your CV. Don't forget about conferences. So maybe you've had some conference proceedings come out. Again, you might include those on your CV, so something else to check to see whether you need to update that. If you've been invited to give a talk at a conference, you may want to list that on your CV. Quite often, we like to show where we've been asked to give talks because it shows credibility in a particular research area. Maybe if you're just starting out, rather than being invited to give a talk, maybe you have applied and been accepted to give a talk at a conference. That's equally an awesome thing to put on your CV. And maybe if you're right at the beginning of your academic journey, you went to a conference. Again, that is something you might want to put on your CV, that you attended a particular event. So check your publications, make sure they're updated if relevant, check your conference proceedings, and update on any events, meetings or conferences that you were involved in, participated in, or helped to organise. If you are an academic that's applying for funding, and as I said, my CV update has been prompted in part because we are applying for research grants to get future funding for future projects. If you've applied for any funding, that's another thing to put onto your CV. Now, some people on their CVs will put only what they were awarded, so just list where they were successful. Some people on their CVs will list where they were successful or shortlisted or applied but were unsuccessful. I think on my CV at the moment, I am quite transparent, so I do list where I was successful in getting money awarded to me, but also where I was maybe shortlisted, but I didn't actually get the money. I guess I'm trying to show future grant application people or people within the university that I am actively applying for research funding and that those applications are credible. So even if I don't get the secured money, if I'm being shortlisted or reaching, say, round 2 of something, then it shows that the idea was credible, which is quite good to put onto your CV. And of course, along with the kind of the money side and the publication side, there is student supervision. So maybe you had a PhD student finish. I had one student finish this year and they completed their PhD. So yeah, update your CV to reflect students that have departed their PhDs with you and are on to new exciting activities. Maybe you've had a new student join your research group, so update if you've got a new first year PhD who's joined your area. Maybe you supervised master's projects, maybe you supervised undergraduate projects, maybe you had a summer internship, maybe you were involved in working with industry for a summer placement for research. These are all good things to check what happened in the last 12 months and to update your CV accordingly. And then once I've done the kind of the teaching update of my CV and then the research update of my CV, it's then time to look across the other things I get involved with the university and make sure they're also updated. So things can be like administrative roles within the department. So I'm the admissions tutor. If I've done something new or different, if I've deployed a new type of event, I might want to highlight that within my CV. And also maybe outreach activities, maybe you're involved in social media, maybe you're writing a book and it's got published within that year, maybe you were asked to write a magazine article, you were asked to give a talk for a local society that's linked to your research area. These again are all things that you might want to put onto your academic CV. And I think by updating it at least once a year, you kind of stay on top of it. A lot can happen in 12 months. And I sometimes think it's easy to forget how much we get involved with. And you just kind of do stuff which is part of your job without really realising, okay, that actually should go now onto my CV, because actually it was probably quite a significant thing I was involved with that I should then make others aware of when I apply for things. And also your CV is a key document for future promotions. So, whenever you're a lecturer going for a senior lecturer or a reader or a professor position, or you're a teaching fellow looking to go up to the next teaching level band, or you're a research fellow looking to progress to become a senior research fellow, you're always going to typically need to send your CV in as part of that application. So having a current up-to-date CV is such an advantage when you're writing out those application forms. So yeah, I would say that at least once a year, try to check in with your CV. Maybe you do it more frequently, maybe you check in multiple times a year. That's brilliant if you do. But I think at least once a year means that you don't then fall behind with forgetting really good stuff that you've done. That should actually be sitting on your CV document. But let me know, how often do you update your CV? Do you do it all the time? Anytime you do something new, you stick it on your CV? Or do you do it very rarely and only when you really need to update that document do you dig it out and put the new bits of information on it? Leave me a comment, let me know. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, because it's an awesome space to be able to talk about all things university and academic related. But in the meantime, stay safe, have a good week, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.